This morning on Podcast Them Down, Santa's finished delivering presents and we're going to interview him, and I can find the button.
Cast them down.
Hail, Metal Nation! I don't know what to say. I already said everything. We got Santa,
There's jingle bells, Timothy.
fresh off of your midnight delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Just a glorified Amazon driver.
Woo.
And,
Yeah. Woo.
And you're off work.
Uh-huh. Gonna relax a little bit. No.
Yep. And now it's time. You graciously agreed to do the podcast.
I did.
So we got me, Tim, Santa,
Hi.
Mike, and Dave.
Hello.
Because
Out
they
there
were
in
very
Christmas
excited to ask you many questions.
Well, I mean, I welcome all the questions, Timothy, but before we start, I do have to take care of some Santa business. And, after Santa's enjoyed delivering his nightly rounds, he likes to kick back and drink a truly hard seltzer. Whether you're busy during the day or coming home from work, you too can enjoy the sweet taste of Truly. I've truly enjoyed it. I'm Santa Claus.
Are you taking sponsorships now?
Well, times are tough, Timothy. Oh, that's delicious. It's definitely not shredding my mouth. It's great, and I enjoy Truly well. You should too.
Are you? So famously, your red coat is because of all the Coca-Cola advertising. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, it's true, Timothy. I mean, Santa Claus has been in the pocket of big business for a while now. But I gotta branch out because I'm not sure if you've been watching YouTube, but apparently the Generation Alphas don't care anymore. So I have to appeal to the nostalgia of millennials. And they drink Truly. And so that's why Santa has to drink Truly now. Yeah, it's great. If he could find his mouth hole, it is.
Why Truly and why not White Claw?
Well, White Claw sounds a little bit too much like a polar bear, Timothy. And, when you spend as much time in the North Pole as I do, you don't want to be facing down some White Claws. First of all, well, I just thought of another reason, too. I mean, anyway. Yeah, the White Claw is bad. Evil, death, danger. But Truly is truly great. So there's that. And they taste like berries. I'm so tired.
How many of these have you drank?
Well...
And are you allowed to drink them on during the sleigh ride?
Well, I mean,
drinking and flying allowed.
Well, first of all, it's I guess the first question is who's allowing what? I mean, who else is the magical spirit of the night, David? Who's gonna stop Santa Claus? Super Santa Claus? I locked that guy in the ice long ago. And anyway, technically, Santa Claus isn't a driver. I mean, you might be familiar with a little guy named Roger and his little shiny nose. It enables Santa's flights to happen, whether Santa's awake or asleep or talking on the phone, or drinking a delicious Truly. So, I've had about a few. One for every continent, because I go to all the continents. Well, not Antarctica, but that's a whole other thing that I doesn't want to talk about. But I go to continents, and I enjoy a Truly or two.
Are there scientific bases in Antarctica?
Well, yeah, but those are scientists, Timothy. They don't deserve presents.
Why not?
Oh no, they're just too worried about the ratings of their instruments. They want to measure snow. And there's not really many chimneys there. So I don't know. It just seems difficult.
Okay. If you had to deliver to the Amundsen Scott station at the South Pole, Would you arrive at midnight, and how do you figure out when midnight is?
Well, see, that's part of the problem. I mean, also, Santa's still a little iffy about even going to the southern hemisphere at all. Because isn't it like the summertime? For a long time, this wasn't Santa's problem. And then around, like 1504, Santa was like, holy shit, do I have to go there? I don't even go down there anymore. So it became quite a mess. So I just try to avoid that whole issue, because is it Christmas Day or Christmas night? I don't know. Stupid global globe.
All right. I got some questions about logistics.
Okay, all right, shoot away, Michael.
All right, so
Let me just get some.
so by far,
Oh,
your operation is probably one of the most complicated global distribution networks of all time.
probably, I would say so. Thank you very much. Ho ho.
So I got questions about, like, all right, so what sort of project management structure are you using? I'd love to know what processes you have in place.
Project manage. Well, what do you mean? Like, I'd say, let's go here and let's go there, and then we do that. It's not that difficult. I think a lot of people overthink, how to get things done, and you just say, like, lickety split, and you snap your finger like that, and then you just make it happen. If you don't make it happen, then maybe that's your problem.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, I guess that is one of the strengths of a vertically integrated industry like that at the North Pole. I mean, as much as they can be, supply chain issues are within your control.
Exactly.
You own transport.
Yeah, everything we keep it all in house, David. There's an old saying that it takes two to listen, but one to learn. And so that's why I tell the elves, if you ever want to eat again, your asses are working from January 1 to December 25. And then we can take 4 days off. And then, the mandatory meeting. And then we have one more day off. And then it's back to work.
All right. So
What do you cover at the meeting?
Well, we like to have a little breakdown. What went well, what didn't go well. We usually have a very long in memoriam reel. So we talk about all the elves that were crushed, and then we go on to the ones that were sliced. And then, the really sad one is the ones that were mashed. But, we get all through it. We get through all the categories. We end up with, the lacerations. And we go on to the next part.
What is the life expectancy of both an elf and an elfin employee of Santa?
Okay, well, it's been a long time, Michael, so I can tell you, before the whole Santa thing, when we were just hanging out as arboreal spirits, I'm pretty sure an elf could live like 7,000 years. But now, they're a little shorter. If you've gotten through half a season, you're a veteran. If you make it to the next Christmas, like Scrumpy, my old buddy Scrumpy, I think he's been around maybe 3 Christmases at this point, which makes him like an older statesman. That's why he has a desk next to mine. But the good thing about elves is they're kind of like a starfish, so when you cut them in half, you get 2. So a lot of times you want those accidents to happen because there's more and more children every year.
All right. So what is the average, like if you were to calculate like the average take home salary, like maybe like the total salary and maybe like per hour of an elf?
I mean, we're working on a feudal system here, Michael. So it's not like I give them a paycheck. It's like I own you and I allow you to work my land. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you're free to leave. You can wander the North Pole if you like, getting eaten by a caribou or a polar bear. or speared by a narwhal. You know, but it's a very desolate, dangerous place. Oh, shit. See, the wind just blew off my fucking hat. You know, a lot of them, I mean, I don't want to say they, like, work to live, but if they don't work, very few of them survive. Wait, holy shit.
I got my own hat here.
Through the magic of Santa, Tim now has my hat. That's incredible.
It got a little longer, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I'm much bigger than you. Mm-hmm.
So
let me just reach down here.
Who owns the? Here you go. Who
you.
owns the mineral rights for the land under the North Pole, and are you worried about melting at all?
Oh, the subsurface? Well, okay, that's pretty straightforward. For a long time, it was the Norwegians. You know, we had a deal worked out, but then, you know, in 1943, it almost seemed, Timothy, like a year without a Christmas. So Santa had to call up another jolly gentleman of the North, and, you know, we worked out a deal. And so he got his mineral rights, and Santa turns a blind eye to certain submarines, and in return, you know, I get to work on the surface. And I get a shiny red bottle of whiskey every December 28th. You know, because they celebrate New Year or whatever it was. Why do you think? Why do you think they had weird New Year trees? You know, that's a little nod to Santa Claus.
All right. So who has you have delivered all the presents?
All them delivered. If you didn't get a present, well, you know what you got. You deserved.
I'm still a little confused why you gave me the new Metallica album, because we already reviewed it.
Well, yeah, but you know, I heard you liked it, and you didn't think it was overly long, and you didn't think the first 3 tracks sounded exactly the same. So I thought, you know what, Timothy likes repetitive things, like 72 seasons. So why don't I give it to him twice?
Okay, well, thank you anyway.
You're welcome.
Do you remember most of the people on your list?
Well, yes and no. Like, you know, Santa's memory's not what it used to be. What I'm delivering, you know, I'm kind of like in the zone. And so there I know exactly, like, oh, this is Mr. Smendrick's house. And they give him his thing. And it's like, oh, this is Mrs. Johnson. You know, and this is Mr. Lau. And then I'm pretty good. But, you know, after it's billions of people, Timothy, I can't just keep everybody off the top of my hat, you know?
What's the worst house on your trip?
The worst? Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no single worst house, Michael, but I think if we were going to put them in a general category, we'll call them the poors, you know? You know, I have a great big sled full of presents. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm like, why am I giving them the shitty thing when I got like 18,000 PlayStation 5s here? But no, they're going to get a potato. But maybe they're more gracious for it. I don't know. It's just the way the system works.
Well, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any standout cookies this year?
Oh, you know, that's a good point. You know, Santa, let me get a little serious here, David. You know, a lot of times in the past, Santa received a lot of homemade cookies, and even though they weren't technically well done, they were made with love. Now, Santa predominantly gets store-bought cookies filled with preservatives, you know, artificial marshmallows, and, you know, low cocoa percentage chocolate chips. And I just want to say that they're much better than any cookie you've ever made. So please stop trying to impress Santa by like, oh, I made Santa a cookie and he'll like it more. No, wrong. You're not a good cookie chef, little girl. Just go to the Giant or Trader Joe's. You know what? Go to Trader Joe's get some of those ginger apple snaps or whatever they're called and leave them out, and Santa will be pleased as punch. Also those bullshit cookie things that come in a tube and you cut, fuck those. Those aren't even cookies. Those are just glorified goo. No one likes those. You didn't even cook them. The tube did. You just warmed them up. So stop pretending you did anything. Is that your question?
Well, almost. What store-bought cookies do you prefer? Do you like the soft sugar cookies that you get in the rose in the little clamshell case with the icing on them? Or
those are pretty good.
You're more of a chocolate sandwich cookie guy.
I am a chocolate sandwich cookie. You know, David. Santa's not a picky man. Santa enjoys all kinds of cookies, just like he gives presents to all kinds of girls and boys. Not naughty ones, but the good ones, at least.
Are there other trends? Are there other trends you've noticed in Christmas decorations, sizes? Do LEDs bother you?
LED. Okay. Many. Well, fuck. You're just triggering me again, Timothy. All right. So first of all, LEDs are fine. Santa, if you recall, lives at the North Pole. And I'm very aware of the reality of climate change. Why do you think I'm wearing a fucking wife beater on the North Pole, Timothy? I'm not doing this by choice. It's fucking hot up here. It's like 50 degrees. Okay, so please use energy-efficient bulbs. Santa loves that, and I appreciate it. What was the other questions you were asking?
Other trends.
Trends. You know what? Okay. Santa
Bigger
doesn't want to
stockings.
Santa doesn't want to get political here.
Oh no!
But I think you should.
I don't
think you should.
There's a group of people. We'll call them the libs. But they've been insisting for years on giving Santa skimmed milk, and fuck that. Santa needs full cream milk. Have you ever dunked a cookie in skim milk, Timothy? It just comes out like in water. It's just like white water and paste. Santa wants full cream milk. He's got a lot of energy to go through, flying through the entire world, and don't skimp. That's the milk with the red cap, red for Santa. All right. So there's that. Many new homes don't have mantelpieces, and so people are being creative where they put their stockings. That's fine. I understand. Times change. I don't put children in bags anymore and send them to Spain. Things change. But you have to give Santa a fucking break. Like, if you put your stocking in a room where your Christmas tree isn't, how the fuck am I supposed to know where to go? Keep it all in a general, central location. Tree, stockings, Santa bribe, and just let it go, I'm like any other service worker, Timothy. I work for tips. So, think about that. Also, cash. Why'd I give Santa some cash? I got expenses, man. Think I can buy, silicone chips with milk and cookies? No way. I need fucking cash, man. I need to stay liquid. It's a very slim margins,
Speaking of cash,
mm-hmm.
Who are the primary funders of your operation?
This is a good question, Michael. So first of all, I should say that I don't want to get too specific, but there's a reason the world went off the gold standard. And a lot of that has to do with Santa giving a lot of credit to a lot of bad, naughty nations for various projects from about 1920 to roughly 1968. At one point, Santa said, "Look, guys, I can't just let you float on your good graces forever. So you bring Santa the gold and make up some bullshit about fiat currency. Or this shit's not gonna fly anymore. Don't you want a present, Mr. Kissinger? Don't you want a president? Mr. Khrushchev? And so they agreed. They made it happen. And it was fine. It worked great. But so there's a lot of that just comes from, the world's gold reserves. Also, Santa, a lot of people don't know this, but Santa's dad, Santa's father, gifted him a small emerald mine. And because of that, I was able to invest. I was a smart investor. That enabled me to get in the position where I am. Not because I'm I'm not a child of means, Timothy. Everyone just has an emerald mine in their pocket, and I just take a few and say, how about that?
I don't want to bring you down, but some famous people didn't make it to Christmas.
Well,
and I would like to know which list they were on. So, for example, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. What about her?
Okay, this is a very interesting case, Timothy, because she started on the nice list. She had a naughty period. I should also mention, Santa Claus enjoys watching naughty people do their naughty things. I won't give you a present, but the old ticker here appreciates it. Nice people are boring and lame, and I give you presents because that's the moral order, Timothy. But it's still much more fun to see naughty people. So she had a naughty period, but then about 25-ish years ago, she went back on the nice side. And I gave her, some extra stuff there as a little, remember me do, ho ho.
Okay. What about Rosalind Carter?
They're naughty.
All right. Also,
Timothy, this is breaking news. You ever hear of Habitat for Humanity?
Yes.
World's biggest money laundering scheme.
But they do build houses.
Well, they buy materials for build houses. That's for sure.
All right, Roger Castell. He's the guy who did the artwork for the Jaws poster.
Oh, like the naughty little shark thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He's nice. He's nice all the way. I gave him pencils and pens and little paint brushes. Great guy.
Okay. Astronaut Frank Borman, who commanded Apollo 8, the first manned mission to the moon.
I don't want to get controversial here, Timothy, but no astronaut has ever been nice. If you go to space, something happens to you. I don't know if it's radiation or some kind of cosmic ray, but you come back naughty. And the more you go to space, the naughtier you are. Like those poor people on the space station, Timothy, they'll never see a present again.
All right, what about here's two actors.
Okay.
Friends, Chandler Bing, Matthew Perry, and the guy who played Shaft, Richard Roundtree.
Oh, Richard Roundtree. Richard Roundtree is a good friend of mine. He used to come up to the North Pole. We'd have brandy. I would say, hey, Richard, you're one bad. And he was like, Santa, don't do that. And I was like, you're one bad. He's like, no, Santa, that's just a character. And then after 5 hours of trying to do that, he would just leave. And I'd say, Richard, come back. Don't you want to hang out with your buddy Santa anymore? Santa's one bad. And then he would just walk away in the snow. I'm not even sure how he got home, but I guess he did. So yeah, he's very nice, like Richard Roundtree. Matthew
Chandler
Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Ooh, well, I don't know if you know much about Matthew Perry, Timothy, but Santa knows a few things. Well, let's just say He made a lot of people happy, and in some people's books, that counts a lot, but not Santa's. Santa knows your soul. Santa knows what's deep down. And, ooh, Timothy, woo, that's a scary place to go. I mean, I don't throw the phrase rotting in hell out easily, but wow, Jesus, Timothy.
All right. What about Suzanne Summers?
Suzanne Summers? I would put her in the 50-50s, you know? Any day of the year, it's a roll of the dice. Sometimes she's nice, you know, like when she did those Weight Watchers commercials. Or when she was on Step by Step, a lot of nice years. But sometimes not so nice. It's called the 70s, Timothy. It was a crazy time.
All right, the guy who played Dumbledore.
What's his name? His name is
Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon, yes. He was on the permanent nice list. He could have done anything. He could have run over a kindergarten while drinking Apple Jacks.
So there's like a diplomat nice list.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Michael.
What's one other person on it?
Okay. One other person on the diplomatic nice list, like the permanent nice list. Kenny Rogers. But getting back to Michael Gambon. Michael Gambon starred in Santa's favorite movie, the movie Toys. So therefore, really? Anyone in the movie Toys is on that permanent nice list. That's Joan Cusack is there, and LL Cool J, Jamie Foxx, Robin Williams. He was the only person ever to get off the permanent nice list. So it's a pretty great movie. Everyone should go watch it, and everyone should listen to the Christmas song they put in that movie with two random people in Seal, also on the permanent nice list, and they tried really, really hard to make the song be the new song of Christmas, and Santa was behind it 100%. But apparently no one else was, Timothy.
I got two more. Diane Feinstein.
Diane.
Okay, we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on, Timothy.
All right, Paul Rubens.
Pee-wee. Oh, you know Pee-wee's nice, Timothy. Pee-wee's, well, no, he's not nice, but he's still a generally nice guy. I mean, there were some times that, you know, him and Santa couldn't be associated, but I'm glad he took the fall. I was like, Paul, you gotta help me out, man. We're both beloved by children, but one of us will fall much from more precipitous heights than the other. You know, I'll work a connection. They can put you in that heroin movie, and everything will be okay for you. Not Santa. Santa can't go in the heroin movie.
What about
Andre Brower?
Andre Brower? Of course I know who?
Frank Pembleton from Homicide: Life in the Street.
Oh, Frank Pembleton. Yeah, he's pretty nice. Nice guy.
Bob Barker.
Naughty. Very naughty.
That's my last one.
You know what he did to all those dogs and cats, Timothy?
I'm aware.
That's not a nice thing to do.
All right.
Did you know, fun fact about Bob Barker, Timothy, did you know he tried to stop me from getting reindeer? He said, Santa Claus, reindeer don't belong flying in the sky. They belong like eating lichen and living on the tundra. And I said, look, Bob, fuck you. I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. And look who's here after him.
Did you spay and neuter the reindeer?
No, I did fucking a lot of ruin. Timothy, it's not easy or good for reindeer to fly. I need lots of them. Let me just ask you a question. Have you ever seen a reindeer fly in nature? No. It takes a lot of work. I mean, luckily I'm an immortal tree spirit, but if you gave me a choice between a reindeer and an elf, I would pick elf every day.
I have more questions, but I'm going to open it up to to Mike and Dave.
Michael, go ahead. You have a burning question, I know.
I do. I want to ask more about the logistics of this of this permanent nice list. Yeah,
right,
like,
okay.
Like, how does one, like, is it an investment thing? Is there, I don't know, like what's the process?
You want to get in on Santa's operation? Is that what you're saying?
I want in on this permanent nice list.
Oh, well, you have to do something that's really I mean, again, you know, like kings and queens, like they just hand out these things, and Santa's kind of like the king of niceness in Christmas time. You know, some might even say I'm the reason for the season. So because of that, you know, you have to, if you want to get on this list, you have to do something in service and furtherance of Santa. So, for example, if you were able to buy like 3 cases of Trulies for your New Year's Eve party, you very well might get yourself going that way. Use the code Santa on Truly.com. That's a good way to try. And if it doesn't work, maybe 6 cases or 8.
Dave, did you have anything?
I mean, this has been a comprehensive interview, and I didn't even know we were doing a formal interview tonight.
I know. I just came in from fucking work. Think how I feel, David.
How many hours of sleep are you on right now?
Well, 0. I mean, but again, this is an important Santa fact. Santa doesn't require typical human sleep. I do sleep. I sleep in a great big bed with many pillows and nice warm blankets, but that's usually between the time of January and November. I mean, so the elves start working, and Santa's like, all right, guys, if you need me, I'll be in the old you-know-what. That's what I call my bed. I put on my bed hat. This is a simulation. This is my outside hat, but they look identical. So I put on my hat, and I say, it's time for Santa Claus to catch some winks. And I go like this, and I sleep. Every once in a while, they wake me up and feed me some food, and then I just go back to sleep for a while. So because of that, and because of the difficult, you know, Q4, as we call it, you know, I'm usually awake for almost all of November and December. And then, you know, vacation, because I don't work all the time. Meeting. Last vacation, they sleep. No, they work, I sleep. It's great. It's life.
Okay, some notable events happened in metal, and I wanted to know whether those involved were naughty or nice.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so in February of this year, Marty Friedman joined Megadeth on stage several times for the first time in 23 years. Well, was that a naughty thing to do or a nice thing to do?
Well, it's a little difficult because it's nice for Marty to do, but helping Megadeth is naughty. So I have to factor that in, you know? I have a very complicated metric, you know? Very few things are blanket naughty or nice. You know, I have a whole formula. I have many millions of elves jotting things down and, you know, writing out in longhand all these calculations, and we run the numbers every night. So, like, that would be probably, like, on balance, 0.008 nice. Because everything else kind of cancels out.
Okay. Let's see. 2 members left Slipknot. this year.
Nice, very nice. I wish
Craig
more did.
Jones,
Crack Jones?
the keyboardist. Yeah, there's a guy named Craig Jones, and he
Craig
played.
Jones?
in Slipknot?
Well, he was a longtime sampler and keyboardist, so that can mean anything.
He was the DJ back in the day.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Naughty or nice?
Well, I'm looking him on Santapedia right now, and he has a very cool mask with lots of spiky things coming out of it. So I'm afraid that's pretty nice.
All right, what about
Santa should get one of these masks, Timothy.
what about their drummer, Jay Weinberg, son of Max Weinberg?
Oh, you mean the guy from the E Street Band?
No, the guy from
that guy.
the Conan
And
O'Brien show.
Conan.
Yeah, he's on the Conan. Conan, by the way, nice guy. Jay
I'm not
Leno,
surprised by this.
not so nice, in fact.
Is Conan on the permanent nice list?
Conan's not on the permanent nice list
Oh, okay.
because he's a frost giant, Michael.
All right, last one. No, not quite the last one. Kiss did their end of the road world tour. Their Kiss allegedly is never going to play a show again and have disbanded.
Get it?
All right. So what about
I get it.
Ho ho.
what about Paul Stanley and
Paul.
are you typing it into Santapedia right now?
No. All right. Okay.
And Gene Simmons, what about them?
Well, I don't think Santa's necessarily obligated to consider Gene Simmons.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to put too fine of a point on it, but Dave is right. Gene Simmons, non-Santa
they're both
person.
of that faith, though.
Well, funnily, you mentioned that, but Paul Stanley's actually a great guy and gets what Santa calls a consideration. So, there are some people, non-Santa people, who aren't obligated to receive a gift under the rules of Santa. But nonetheless, sometimes Santa looks out for them and gives them, a little something. This doesn't have to be a physical thing. This could be like a spring in their step or a nice winter breeze, or sometimes it's like a big wad of bills, Timothy. But either way, Santa looks out for people who are particularly nice, regardless of who they are.
Okay. Well, last one then. Dream Theater reunited with their original drummer.
Oh,
Mike
that's right.
Portnoy. So Mike Mangini has left. Now, Mike Mangini, as you probably know, performed on their song "The Holiday Spirit Carries On." Does that weigh into your assessment of naughty or nice?
Well, it does. He's not permanent nice list level, but anyone who does a good Christmas related thing, like, Santa's got your attention. But I also, more importantly, want to establish something that Santa likes to call the one mic rule, which means that any project should have one and only one mic related. So if you're in a project and there's multiple mics, just be aware of that. And I think Michael should be particularly aware of that. If you see any other mics sniffing around, you got to punch him in the face and say,
when Dream
they
Theater
already have a mic. Ho ho.
Dream Theater's lineup on Images and Words had 2 Johns, 2 Kevins,
fine,
and
no
one
problem.
Mike.
The one mic is the only. It's like that Nas song, Timothy. You just need one mic.
James LeBrie's first name is Kevin, by the way.
Well, okay, that's fine. I have no problem with Kevin's. Kevin McAllister. That's a Christmas movie.
There you go.
There you go.
And there were like 3 Kevin McAllisters.
Yeah, there was the little guy. What was the toy car one also Kevin McAllister?
Yeah, Home Alone 3 was supposed to be Kevin.
Looks nothing like him, Timothy. What were they doing?
Producers of Home Alone 3?
Mm-hmm.
What about them? Naughty or nice?
Naughty.
Even everyone involved or just the people who made it?
Everyone involved.
Including French Stewart.
Especially Fred Stewart, Timothy.
And Chumbawamba. The music was used in the movie.
Oh, well, that's not really their fault, Timothy. Have you ever...
I disagree.
Have you ever been in Chumbawamba? They're like, oh, do you want to be in this movie? It's either this one or none of them ever again. And they're like,
See,
okay.
I figured they'd be a lock for being naughty because that song is about drinking.
Well, that's fun. Like if... No, this is a good point,
in a
Timothy.
kids movie, and they're Australian.
No, that's fine. But you're right. They did one naughty thing, and that's not. I drink a Truly drink, and that's the only drink I need because they're delicious and very. Oh, look at this! They contain 1% juice. They're technically healthy, Timothy.
Hey.
If you drink 100 of these Trulies, it's like eating a fruit.
Eating a single strawberry.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm out of stuff. I think it's time to let you go. Were there any other questions?
Hold on, Timothy. Don't you want to hear about my pedal setup? I've been really preparing to tell you all about it.
Sure. Wait, like at the North Pole or like on the sled?
At the North Pole. All right, I have one pedal. It's red.
Of course.
It says Christmas. On Christmas Eve around 11:59, Santa presses it. And then Christmas happens. And then at the end of the day, like around now when I come home, turn it off. And Christmas doesn't happen again for another year.
Has anybody accidentally stepped on this pedal at the wrong time?
That's a great question, Michael. And yes, a matter of fact, they did. And, wow. Santa wishes he could tell you that story, but let's just say they called it the year without an Easter.
Is it a true bypass pedal, or does it, when it's off, it's still leaking some Christmas into the output?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not well designed, Timothy. An elf made it. What do elves know about acoustical equipment? It has like all the time. I'm
just
pretty
like
sure
a faint sound of sleigh bells coming out through the. Yeah.
I haven't changed the cable in 100 years.
Okay, did you have any closing remarks, Santa, before we let you go to bed for... Oh, no, wait. It's a few days off.
Vacation time.
And then the meeting, and then bed.
Two things to say, First, I'm truly thankful to be here with you. And if you want to be truly thankful to me, take a break for refreshment.
Code Santa.
Code Santa, truly.com. Okay. The second thing. All right, let me look in the camera here. It's been a rough year, everybody. There's been lots of non-Santa things going on. And I just want to let you know that I'm very disappointed in all of you. There's more and more people, but less and less presents to give. You're all naughty, so cut it the fuck out, I have a bad feeling that the numbers aren't going to do much better next year, but let's try to make 2025 a Christmas kind of year. A Christmas kind of year, So, in review, next year, I'm just going to pick presents at random. We're just going to assume no one's going to be nice at all. But 2025 is the year that counts. Santa's giving you a year to get ready. So, do your best. Especially David.
God, I will. Be doing my best.
I'm just thinking about all the fish concerts you go to, David. What naughty things you do there.
Oh, Santa. I don't know if you heard. My fish days are coming to a very abrupt end.
Oh, Santa's hilariously aware, David.
All right, well, Merry Christmas, Santa.
All right. Merry Christmas, Timothy.
Merry
and
Christmas.
Michael and David and everyone out there in Podcasm Downland. And remember, Santa Claus is watching you. And one last closing message. If you have a one-man black metal project, you can just forget presents because no one likes it at all. You know, one-man black metal project basically means I need to find something else to do with my time because no one wants to listen to it. Ho-ho! Drink truly! Santa out!
Cast them down.
Tonight on this morning on Podcast Them Down,